Come here. Get off.
Welcome to this week's episode of The Turn On. We are going to switch it up, give y'all a quickie. I love quickies because that means I don't have to read or prepare shit. I love our stories, but sometimes a bitch be lazy than a mug.
But also, quickies are fun too.
They are
Everything
fun.
doesn't have to be long and drawn out.
Yes, they are. Look at you doing the double time messages. Double entendre. Did you ever watch Jackie Washington?
I did.
Jackie's Back? Yeah.
Yes, I did it while organizing my office. I just put it on the computer and sat down and watched it while I cleaned. It was
Entendre. I love it. And being that I'm from St. Louis, like, it gives me the feels because my mother definitely reminds me of Jennifer Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yep.
Okay, so today we're dedicating this episode to who? Our good homeboy. Our good homeboy who? Your homeboy you forgot about once you started fucking. Our good friend, DH, dry humping.
Yeah.
We've said this before. Once we started, doing it, we gave up on dry humping. And sometimes a good dry hump is I can't think of when I've done it as an adult. Because I'll be like,
I have a story.
but yeah, so, tell me your adulthood dry humping story.
Let's go back to the beginning, the origins of dry humping.
That's us being teleported. We're whisked away. Okay, picture this. Sicily.
Right.
St. Louis.
And Cleveland.
1990 something. Yeah, 1990 something.
Yeah.
You gonna go first?
I'll go first.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So, I don't know if y'all used to play this game, but we had a little game in Cleveland called Hide and Go Get It.
Hide and go freak.
That's what y'all called it?
Hide and go freak. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so we used to play it. My sister and I had these friends that lived around the corner, and they had older brothers. And so... And they were probably only a couple years older than us.
But in your mind, they were grown-ass men.
Which, ew. But yeah. So, we used to go in it was one particular house where we always fucking played. And we would go down there, and they would turn off all the lights. And you had a certain amount of time to find a hiding spot. And then if all the girls was hiding... And it was 3 different families that were all there. So it was us, it was the people who lived there, and then we had another friend that lived up the street. And all of those houses had a bunch of kids. And so we would all play at this house. And so for me, I wasn't related to anybody there, but I know the challenge for a lot of them was to not get found by their cousin. Exactly. But so... the name of the game was to try to get found by the nigga that you wanted to find you.
Oh, no. Oh, no. I fell behind the couch. Oh, no.
So you had to hide, but not hide too well. And then it was pitch black, so you really didn't know what was going to happen. But most of what happened was a lot of dry humping.
A lot of dry
humping.
Oh, my goodness. So I was thinking of a more recent story, but okay, so bam, boom, St. Louis folks. Okay, first, let's talk about the problem with little kids dry humping.
Yeah, it's problematic. But at least we weren't, I
wasn't even talking about the sexual aspect.
Okay.
We
weren't doing anything that wasn't exploratory.
Oh shit, I forgot about fingering. So anyway.
We weren't doing any of that. It was literally, we were in an age where we were coming into our bodies and learning that it felt good when you rubbed up against them, but no one was doing anything that could either be classified as assault or sex. It was just
so, I was talking about it's problematic because little kids don't clean themselves properly. Not that they don't clean themselves, but them showers be mad questionable. I was about to tell a story about my son, but I don't need to because, anyway, nonetheless, they weren't cleaning the best. And 9 times out of 10, you playing hide and go get it in the summertime.
Yeah.
Where
So
you
everybody been outside all day, smelling
we
like
gonna come
outside.
inside and suck up some good AC and dry hump behind
Smell like
somebody
outside.
grandmama rocking chair
Yeah.
or next to the deep freezer.
We had fun though.
Okay, so for me, St. Louis folks, bam, boom. Okay, like in most Midwestern cities, roller skating is a thing.
Yeah.
Everybody goes roller skating.
Saturdays and Sundays for us.
In St. Louis, you go to the Palace. Well, you would go to the Palace on like a Friday night. And the Palace so it was a skating rink, but I think it used to be, now you're going to have me down a Google rabbit hole. Anybody from St. Louis, if y'all listening, shout us out. Let me know what y'all know about this. But the Palace used to be in like it was like one of those big box toy stores. Mm-hmm. So not quite a Toys R Us, but it was a big building. And it was like, it looked like a fucking, like a castle.
Like Children's Palace?
Yeah. Did
it used to be Children's Palace? Children's Palace was a toy store.
Hold on. I'm about to.
Because we had them when we were kids. And it was like a panda with a red balloon or something. I'm seeing in my head.
Children's Palace. See, Google tells me Children's Place. I need Children's.
There was definitely a
Palace.
Children's Palace. It was a toy store.
Child World. A toy store company which operated a chain of stores titled Children's Palace. They have a Children's Palace in yup. It went defunct in 1992.
Look, yeah.
And I'm looking at the logo. So if you Google it, it's Child World Inc., but it's Child World Children's Palace. So it used to be a big ass store, and it was like this big ass box store, and it had like red and white. It looked like a fucking castle.
Yep, I remember. Oh, I see it right here. Yep.
So,
had that too.
They had Peter Panda. So they shut down that, and they turned it into a skating rink. So it had the big ass skating rink, but it also had the dance room.
That sounds like the champagne room, bitch.
Nobody went skating. Nobody ever went skating. I will say, I got some of my best dry humping in at the Palace and at a YMCA/church lock-in.
Yeah, I feel like that's always the thing.
Like, you're gonna learn about the Lord. Yeah.
Okay.
When we going to bed.
sleep. Right.
So yeah, like as a kid, we would get so hyped on Fridays nights to go to the Palace. And now that I'm a parent, I can't stop thinking about like what my mom and aunts and family would think when they were dropping our young, because we were like we're like the age of my son now. I don't think it was 6th grade, but it was definitely 7th and 8th grade.
Yeah.
And we would go on Friday nights. And it was like you get dropped off, and you want your cousin or your auntie with the best car to drop you off. And we would go, and baby, we were just like little dirty kids. And this was when Minister Society came out. And so we would dry hump to Top of the World.
Top of the world.
Boom,
Hey.
boom, boom, boom. Yeah, so yeah, we would like, you and I should get together real soon. I want to take you somewhere. And if you don't mind the thought of you and I alone, I think you enjoy. Sit back, relax, let down your
This bitch
hair.
remembers all the words.
I want to take you to the top. Sorry, okay. You gotta, once you get in the groove,
Got back
you gotta
into the
stay.
moment. Yeah.
You gotta stay. Anyway, so yeah, I definitely just can't fuck with, I mean, not can't, I definitely did fuck with lots of dry humping. Thankfully to lock-ins and roller skating rinks. And on one hand, as a parent, now I'm kind of like, if my son was like, hey, let's go drop me off at a roller skating rink lock-in, I'd be like, nah, them little dirty kids over there dry humping. But then again, as a parent, you're just kind of like,
No, I'm sorry. The answer is still no. They would have to get a little older for me to be okay with that.
there has to be a level of, so all that to say, I mean, I don't want to say this and like get my kid taken from me, but I do think that there is learning within play,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and so I don't want to like
Take away the exploratory aspect of.
I want him to go through the exploratory aspect of sex and sexuality, but I don't need him fucking at 12.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm afraid that like in these day and times, it gets to fucking at 12.
Right. Where
You
for
know?
us, it took a little longer, at least a little bit sometimes.
Just a smidge more, but it took a little bit. And looking back, I probably should have waited. But anyway, so that was like one of my like dry humping situations at the roller skating rink and lock-ins. And then speed up just a few years more. By this time I was in high school. Wasn't yet having sex. But I remember I had this little boyfriend. I'm trying to. Okay. So I speed up a little bit more. I remember I was in. Okay, speed up a little bit more. I was in high school. I had this little boyfriend. We weren't yet having sex, but I remember we would always go over to, you know how there's like a house where they mama just don't give a fuck.
Don't be there. Yep.
Don't be there and don't like, my mama wasn't at home, but she would like, you ain't gonna have people in and out of my house. Like, and the neighbors would know. And so we couldn't just do that shit. This mama didn't give a fuck. So I remember me and my cousin, I would go stay at my cousin's house. She went to the same high school, but she lived in these apartment complexes near like the fun apartment complexes where everybody lived. So we went over there and I had a little boyfriend and we all sat around watching Higher Learning on VHS. And we went in the bathroom and we was like dry humping and I was getting fingered and all that stuff. So it's fucked up because every time I hear that song, Ask of You.
Yeah, Ask of You. Uh-huh.
I think about dry humping in a bathroom in Victorian Village.
Wow. All right.
So specific.
It's a beautiful song.
I know. And I'm like some little funky kid like getting my rocks off. But
Hey.
you know, dry humping. You were the homie. It worked. There were no no pregnancy risks.
I'm about to say, we ain't had to worry about coming up pregnant or no shit
And
like that.
yeah, it satisfied my needs.
Yeah, I mean, I remember my first like for real intentional like.
Let me
this
put
is
on my
what we
love
finna
spell.
do. Yeah, bitch, that was my scent. That good old purple love spell. My first like serious boyfriend. He lived so in Cleveland everything is like across town. So he lived across town, like about 30 minutes away from me. Mm-hmm. He was my cousin's friend, and she hooked us up, and we were together for I don't know, maybe a year or two, but we ain't see each other until several months in because fifth grade. And but I did come to find out later that my cousin had showed him a picture of me, but I had never seen this nigga before I met him in person months in. But anyway,
And also remember, because I had a boyfriend like that too. Like,
did you?
in the 6th grade, we dated, air quotes, for years.
Yeah.
And we saw each other like twice.
Yep.
But we
would
was
talk on
phone
the
boning
every day. Yep.
non-stop.
Constant fuckingly.
But you can like now it's like let's Zoom, Zap, Zelle, Zoodabop.
Because we have all of the technology, but we didn't have none of that shit back then. We had a phone with a cord.
Yeah. Like he would call me if I wasn't at home, he'd call me at my granny's house. Like it was like that. Also, me and him are really good friends to this day. Like
oh, that's cute.
he sends me Facebook DMs to tell me he's praying for me. He's got a whole bunch of little girls. Like he's just the sweetest guy.
See, last I heard of this dude that I'm going to tell this story about, he shot somebody in a parking lot. But he was protecting his sister. So That's all I know of the story. My sister told me bits and pieces. You know, that's my Cleveland connect.
Because your sister and my sister is
Are the same.
My sister will call me like, girl, did you remember so-and-so? You was dating him. Because I remember he drove to X, Y, and Z. And I'm like, girl, don't be.
Half the time I don't even be knowing who the fuck she be talking about.
I do, only because my sister will bring up every receipt, every picture. Remember you said X, Y, and Z, but y'all really went to say... Bitch.
Yes, girl.
Shut up.
Yes.
Okay.
But so me and this dude on our, I think maybe it was our second meeting. I came over when his mama and all his siblings were gone, which was no small feat because it was like 5 of them, and we just dry humped on the couch for like an hour.
I'd rather dry hump for an hour than fuck for an hour.
No music.
Damn,
Like, it
y'all.
was just- because we had to be able to hear if somebody came home. So we was just
I'm sorry.
on the couch, breath sounds, clothes rustling sounds for a solid hour, and it was the highlight of my young sexual life.
I love it.
Thank you, Dry Humping.
Thank you, our good friend Dry Humping. Okay, well, that wraps up this week's. Oh,
So
shit. We still got more. Wait, we do. We do. Okay, I'm sorry.
yeah, it's okay. So fast forward to being an adult, and I have seen our good friend Dry Humping abused, I shall say. So bam.
Wait, what?
There's this nigga who...
Can you write on a sheet of paper and hold it up so I can see who you're
Who
talking
it
about?
is?
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell me and then I'll cut it out.
So there's this nigga that I'm not even really messing with. That's a whole long story, but we'll just say that's back when I was attracted to talent. And when that was a thing. And we ended up, I don't know, I think I had been out. So, you know, there's those times, especially when you're in your 20s, when you out with your girls and then you drunk and then you texting so you can figure out where you finna be that's not at home.
In your 20s? You mean also
Well,
in your
I was-
30s and 40s?
I mean, I was married well into my 30s, but yes. And so one of those nights I ended up at this dude's house, and we had just been, you know, flirting and stuff. We had never really done anything, just some, you know, intimate conversations. And so
By
I
intimate
end up-
conversations, do you mean like sexting or like phone sex? Or was it just like, I'm going to show you the depths of my soul?
it was that because he's a poet.
Oh, okay. Because see, me, when I say intimate conversations, it's like, we ain't fucked yet, but you might have seen my pussy texted to you.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
you know that ain't me. And this was back before shit. I don't even think picture phones were like a common thing.
You
This was-
might have had your Nextel.
I think I did have
Y'all,
my.
Kenrya had a Nextel for like 20 years.
I didn't have the bar Nextel. I had the junk that you slid the screen up on. I think by that time, but you couldn't take pictures with that. They was grainy as fuck.
Yeah. It's like,
Whatever, ho.
that is a human figure. Okay.
And so I get there, and it's, you know, there's candles leading from the door to the whatever the fuck. It was pretty. But so then,
Wait, he did all this shit to dry hump?
yes, bitch. So we starting, and it's, you know, it's foreplay, but it's pretty dry humpy, and I'm like, okay, this is cool. Now, mind you, I was probably maybe 26. I think it was about 26, and he was, I don't know, probably in his early 30s. So okay, so there's dry humping, and then there's this movie where they talk about fake chow. Do you ever see?
Fake chow?
So fake chow is that thing when you pretend to eat somebody out.
I've never heard of fake chow.
It was like a whole bunch of fingers and kissing, but there was no actual eating. And I was like, what is this nigga doing?
Wait, but does his face get in your pussy? Like, does his face get wet with your pussy?
So, again, it's dark except for candles. This is an interesting story.
Wait.
When I get to the punchline, you're going to be like, oh.
So, fake chow.
Fake chow. I realized later when I watched this some fucking movie, and they were like, "So you gave her fake child?" And I was like, "Oh, that's what he did."
Oh my God. Like, I like to look, I need to see the tongue hit the clit.
It was so dark, and there were just candles.
Oh my
around.
God. Okay, I'm sorry.
It was-
Keep going.
I
I'm
walked into
so
literally. He had the door cracked when I got there, and then a line of candles to the bedroom.
Wait, so okay, so also let's rewind.
yes,
You was out with your girls, drunk.
yes.
Hey,
Yep.
I'm coming through.
Yep, in a black car, get dropped off. Have never been to this place before.
And
Find my
in the
way.
time you get, in the time you got this drunk call to his house, he has set up candles and an ambiance.
Yes,
Continue.
because poet.
Yeah, continue.
Yes. So there's what I now realize is fake child, and there's lots of dry humping, and then there's, and I'm like, the fuck is that? He's like, I came. So, like in his whatever the fuck he had on while we were dry humping. So
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm so loud.
So I'm like, okay. We finish up and clean up, and I leave and I go home. So fast forward to
Like, was it like a, ooh, I usually don't do this?
No.
Or it was just a,
It was like
we're
a,
done? Thank
I
you.
came. And I was so confused.
Because I get it. Like, also, like, the thing is, like, sometimes you might not have it in you. So just, if the fake child was a real child, then maybe I'd be like,
It was not real child. I did not come.
okay, all right, keep going. So you get home.
So yeah, get home, whatever. Fast forward, I don't know, maybe a week. We're talking, and I'm still young and dumb, and like, kind of maybe want to do it again, but actually have sex, because the reality is we didn't really have sex, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was no actual oral. There was definitely no penetration. And he's like, well, what?
Continue the story now. I'll ask later.
Okay. He reveals what? That he has a girlfriend.
So that was his, like,
I didn't actually cheat.
I
didn't fuck her. Yeah. This was that I realized in hindsight when he told me that the fake child, the dry humping until he came, was his way of being able to get off.
Nigga, you should have just masturbated.
Without having to actually say that he had sex with somebody else.
If I were
Abusing our good friend, dry humping.
if I was dry humping, I would have smacked that nigga in the face. Because it's like, you used me for nothing.
Yeah, like to no fucking end. Like, and obviously once he told me that, it was over. So that was the end of that.
Also, if I was his girlfriend, I would be like, you went through all of this to not cheat, to like have a
coulda
legal
just
loophole of not
masturbated.
cheating? Like, no, don't even. Because even more than like the infidelity of like our relationship, it is like you worked so hard to
Come in your
exploit
pants.
this one loophole. Like, you're fucking disgusting.
Yeah.
Okay, so I should ask this question first, because now it's like the punchline just, ugh.
Yeah.
So, okay,
Told you.
if you didn't know about the girlfriend and you said young and dumb, had the situation went down, candles, dry humping, fake child, tofu child, we'll call it, tofu puss is fake puss. So dry humping, candles, tofu pussy. Would you have gone back
Yeah, because I was young and dumb.
well, no, if the now Kenrya was in that situation, would you go back if he had a conversation about it?
About what? About coming in his pants?
Yeah, like, oh man, I was
sure,
really
things
excited.
happen.
Yeah,
But
okay, yeah.
he would only get one of those.
Yeah.
And
the fact that he didn't say shit like just makes it like,
well, but then also, all right, that's cool. Now you need to make me come. Like it ain't over now. We not
Yeah, like
we not pulling up our
ain't nobody say you could go yet.
Right.
You got work to do.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, dry humping, our good friend DH.
Yeah.
Daryl
Nope.
Huge about.
Nope.
I'm trying to
Nope.
come up with a name. Okay. Our good friend dry humping. We are sorry that you were abused in that situation.
We are. Really and truly.
That person was a bitch ass motherfucker to pull you out. You in your bed sleep, enjoying a quiet night, and pull you out
For
so
some
that he
illicit
could
shit.
rub his dick against his boxers so that he could technically tell his girlfriend that he didn't cheat on her. Bitch asses.
Yeah.
Okay. The theme of that story is niggas gonna nig.
Exactly.
All right, well, that wraps up this week's Quickie.
Thanks for joining us.
Thank you. I'm so upset. Fucking abusing my homeboy. He don't even get enough play as adults. And then when adults do pull him out, they just play him like that.
On some bullshit.
Fuck that. Okay, this is Erica and Kenrya, two hoes. Making it clap. Dink. Bitch.
Whatever.
This episode was produced by us, Erica and Kenrya, and edited by Ballistic. The theme music is from Brazy. Now you can support The Turn On and get off. Subscribe to the show on your favorite podcast app. Then drop us a 5-star review and you'll be entered to win something that's turning us on. Post your review and email a screenshot to us at theturnonpodcast@gmail.com to enter. Our Patreon page is also live. Become a supporter today and access lots of goodies, including 2-for-1 raffle entries. Don't forget to send us your book recommendations and sex and related questions. And follow us on Twitter at The Turn On Pod and Instagram at The Turn On Podcast. You can find links to books, merch, transcripts, guest info, and other fun stuff at theturnonpodcast.com. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you soon. Holla!